Oh, the mainstream media. I just love these bums. The media in this country has become a running joke. 20 or 30 years ago, if you worked in the mainstream media, you were automatically given a certain level of respect. Tom Brokaw, Dan Rather, Bill O'Reilly, Peter Jennings, Barbara Walters, Katie Couric. These people decades ago were highly respected journalists, highly respected broadcasters. You fast forward to today, if you're involved with the mainstream media, people look at you with disgust. Trust in the media is at its lowest point, definitely in my lifetime, and trust in the media, it might be at its lowest point ever. Tom Brokaw has been replaced with Don Lemon, purveyor of hypocrisy and ignorance. When Barbara Walters hosted The View, the show was garbage back then, but at least it was somewhat watchable garbage. The View today is nothing but five yentas complaining about toxic masculinity and equity. This is The View, the place where woke heterosexual males spank off to Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. My God. Whoopi Goldberg. Oh. Sometimes I wonder if she is related to Jemele Hill. They're kind of similar. They also have a lot in common. Put their face on TV, and television screens across America shatter in unison. The reason no one trusts the mainstream media, it has become nothing but state-run propaganda. Their coverage of Lia Thomas, prime example of it. I have been bombarded with emails this week regarding Lia Thomas. I have tried to avoid talking about Lia Thomas again. I feel like we have beaten this story into the ground, and I figured you guys had Lia Thomas fatigue, to be honest with you. But judging by the amount of emails that I've received and views and comments on the two videos last week, I guess you don't. In the video this morning, I mentioned diversion tactics used by the mainstream media. When they know they're wrong on an issue, and with these dumbasses, they are wrong on every issue. Seldom, rarely, does the mainstream media get something right. But when they know they're wrong on a particular issue, they use diversions to swap or sweep or, what word am I looking for? To sway public opinion. They try to normalize their sick, twisted mentality. Lia Thomas is a perfect example. Instead of the media covering this story truthfully by telling Lia Thomas to take off the fucking bikini and put on swim trunks, they try to make it seem normal that a swinging dick wants to compete against women. Not only do they normalize it, they idolize Lia Thomas and pretend he is a trailblazer. She should be embraced in the history of progress that sports represent and recognized as the trailblazer that she is. I didn't make that up. That quote was pulled directly from NBC News. Trailblazer. Trailblazer. Give me a fucking break. The only thing Lia Thomas is blazing is the future of women's sports. But the media, they want you to believe the opposite. Headline at NBC News, Lia Thomas NCAA Championship performance gives women's sports a crucial opportunity. Yeah, it sure does. It gives women's sports the opportunity to cease to exist. I read through this 5-minute piece of shit so you guys wouldn't have to. They start off by claiming that women's sports are a paradoxical intersection where segregation is based on biological differences instead of equity. Well, yeah, you dumb fuck. You want to know why? Equity isn't real. Those of us living in reality, we look at things through the lens of logic, not equity. The media, they like to claim that Lia Thomas is a victim of discrimination. It's bullshit. Lia Thomas was not discriminated against. He was given the opportunity to compete where he belonged, against the dudes. If anyone was discriminated against, it was the other young women. NBC actually mentions this point. They said people who are against trans women athletes claim these women have an unfair physical advantage over cisgender athletes. First of all, can we stop with the cisgender shit? Before Lia Thomas, I didn't know what the hell cisgender meant. It is the woke term for normal people. They call us cisgender. It's the term used for those of us who wake up every morning and appreciate being born male or female. NBC says that the claims that trans women have a physical advantage over real women are not founded in science. Additionally, the NCAA claims these assumptions are not well founded. Well, say no more. You convinced me. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm confused over transgender athletes, I always look to the NCAA for answers because they have proven over and over that they don't have a fucking clue. I don't need a biological study to determine that Lia Thomas has an unfair advantage. You see, I have these things called eyes. I know this comes as a surprise to the woke media. They think the rest of us are blind and we can't see. But I have 20/20 vision. I can look at Lia Thomas and tell she has a physical advantage over real women. You stand Lia Thomas next to a real woman, Lia Thomas looks like King Kong. I have showed you guys several of her races. Lia Thomas either has a clear physical advantage or he's cheating by hiding nitrous oxide in his ass and hitting the boost switch. Either way, he has an unfair advantage. NBC, they then try to pull the bait and switch. They know people aren't going to buy their bullshit claiming Lia Thomas doesn't have a physical advantage. So they try to convince you that athletic performance is about more than physical attributes. It all comes down to coaching, training, hard work. Yeah, that's partially true. But when one woman is a 5'8", 5'9" swimmer and the other is a 6'1" gargoyle, it kind of makes it hard to compete against the gargoyle. Since we're talking about science and the media claiming there's no scientific evidence that men are physically different than women, then how come women aren't lining up to compete in male sports? I mean, there have been a select few. I've showed you guys videos in the past of women wanting to fight men in MMA. Every time, the result is the same. The woman gets her ass kicked. We've talked about that other trans swimmer, what was her name? Isaac Herzig or some bullshit like that. It doesn't matter what her name is. She wants to be a dude. I identify as male. Until it comes time to compete. Once the competition starts, Isaac turns into Irene and identifies as a woman. Competition ends, Irene becomes Isaac again. Are you confused yet? NBC closes out their bullshit by claiming the backlash against transgender athletes is rooted in societal and cultural definitions of what defines a woman. Let me tell you how I determine what defines a woman. Does she have a dick? No. Does she have a vagina? Check. She's a woman. Is that so hard to understand? Am I the only one that understands this concept? I mean, I'm not a Supreme Court justice nominee. I have a functional brain. I don't need a biologist to explain to me what a woman is. Now, what I'm about to show you proves the mainstream media is full of shit. Look at this picture. On the left is a photo of the real Lia Thomas. Look at that beauty, looking like he just walked off the set of a Ron Jeremy film. The picture on the right is the photo NBC used for their propaganda piece. Clearly, they have an expert in Photoshop on staff at NBC because they worked a hell of a lot of magic and almost convinced some people that Lia Thomas is an actual woman. Next, when conducting interviews, they will begin using auto-tune on his voice. Lower the bass, please. We need to make sure Lia Thomas doesn't sound like a damn man again. After the NCAA Championship last week, real women finally began speaking out against Lia Thomas. One of them was Reka Gyorgy. I hope I'm saying her name right. Here she is. Cute girl, right? I mean, cute girl. Look at her. Then, look at what the media wants you to believe a girl looks like. I don't know about you guys, but as a heterosexual male, I'm going to go with option one, the girl next door. Reka Gyorgy is the Virginia Tech swimmer that I told you guys about last week. Now, at the time, we didn't know her name, but she is the girl who had her spot stolen by Lia Thomas. She's a fifth-year senior. She will never compete at the college level again. All those 5 a.m. practices, all those years of hard work meant nothing. It turns out, all you need to do to compete in women's swimming is be a dude. Reka Gyorgy wrote a letter to the NCAA criticizing them for allowing Lia Thomas to steal her spot. I read the letter, and I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed. I really was. She starts off the letter by saying, "I respect and fully stand with Lia Thomas. I am convinced she is no different than myself or any other Division I swimmer." Stop kidding yourself. Of course Lia Thomas is different than you. Do I need to explain this again? You see, Lia Thomas has a dick in his pants. You don't. Even though I do sympathize a little bit with this young woman from Virginia Tech and the other athletes that have finally come out, spoke out against Lia Thomas, it is too little too late. Where were all of you ladies 3 months ago? It's not like you didn't see this coming. You had 3, maybe 4 months to stand up for yourselves. Now, I know you shouldn't have been put in this position to begin with. I get it. But this is the NCAA we're talking about. This institution is more clueless than Kamala Harris. Speaking out against Lia Thomas after she won the championship accomplishes nothing. Myself, many others, we gave you the solution. All you had to do to stop this bullshit from happening was refuse to compete against Lia Thomas. Instead, you ladies ignored it, hoping it would go away, hoping the NCAA would take care of the problem for you. You pretended Lia Thomas wasn't a problem until it directly affected you. It's funny how that works, isn't it? Human nature. We have a tendency to ignore something until it affects us. But let me know what you guys think. NBC News trying to convince you that Lia Thomas is a hero and has no physical advantage over real women. What do you think about the letter from the Virginia Tech swimmer? I don't think she was strong enough in her critique of the NCAA. What do you think? Give me your thoughts. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.